Hello, hello, hello. Pardon me if I'm a little stuffy this morning. So, we're going to test out. Someone was having trouble, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name right this moment. It's because a lot of times during the week when I'm responding to comments or looking at things, it's either late at night for me and I'm getting ready to go to bed, or it's during work when I just take a few minutes to look over and just try to respond to any comments, and I make notes to myself about what I need to do, but I don't always remember who that's from, and so I apologize for that. Maybe I'll try to write that down in the future. Pardon me, I'm having some coffee while we do this. So we want to look at this here, Cerul's Head Tri-Edits by Dreaded Jiangxi. Now I say by Dreaded Jiangxi, but they admit, and R246 has said as much, that they basically copied R246's files, and then they added these ears and stuff. So I'm not sure if there was any agreement or any questions asked or anything. I don't know. But since you were having trouble with it, and this seems to be, it's got over 2,400 favorites, I guess this is a fairly, at least somewhat popular mod. Some people must like it. And I understand people like their characters to look like elves. So, okay. Alright, so now there's warnings about this. Hold on, let me show you here. There's warnings here. Basically, if you're using this mod, they're warning you probably not to use ethereal elves, aesthetic elves, or R246's mods, and I will tell you that's probably true. If you're using this preset or this edit, you probably need to just use this, because anything that comes along and adds presets or messes with the presets is going to probably mess these up in some way. I was doing some heavy testing the past couple of days on R246's concept XBR, and yeah, stuff like aesthetic elves and other presets just do not play well with that. It depends. I think it depends on how they do it, but I really don't know, since I'm not a modder, so I guess I'm not going to get into that kind of aspect. Just going to say that it seems like you need to choose some presets that you like and go with them. And if you like these, then you should probably just go with this. Okay. So that would be my first piece of advice, is to not use any other preset mods. Okay, unless it's males. Male presets would be fine, because this only deals with female. He specifically says it's just an edit of the female head races, so you should be okay to use male presets, which I have that myself, where I use a little male preset thing. Anyway, so we're going to go create some new. We're going to look back through this and try to see. I'm going to show you, let me show you where I have this, due to also some of the testing we've done, and because this appears to be more of an edit to R246's work, I brought this down into the lower, what I consider kind of the patch area of my load order, and I put it down here. Now, we could put it up here with where I usually have my other presets. Since I don't use anything else, it would probably be okay. But I thought, to be safe, and if you're having issues, to be safe, I would say maybe bring it down lower to the low end of your load order, or even put it at the bottom. There's nothing wrong with that. These are Christmas things. This is right before Christmas. I'm hoping to do some Christmas shows. We'll see. Ho 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 and all that. Except I know I'm never really that. I'm never that crazy, so it won't be that ho ho ho. But nonetheless. So I would just recommend that if you're having issues, go ahead and put it down low down here. Now notice I turned off anything that I thought would conflict with this. I already did a reset, so we should be okay there. And that's another thing. Once you get it positioned where you want it, just do a reset. Just, you know, hold down that power button and make sure that cache is cleared, especially if you're having issues. If you're not having issues, it's kind of different. You can try to get around and see, but more than likely just do a reset just to be safe. I know it's annoying, but that little bit of time can save you aggravation and frustration. So let's hop out here and let's make somebody new. Now I'll tell you just right up front, I'm not really a huge fan of the ears. I think there is another mod you can get where your characters can wear elf ears. It's like they're wearing a hat that has the ears. And maybe we'll look that up at the end just as an alternative. Not saying you have to do that. But if for some reason you liked that, because you could do that and then you could use any preset mod if you're still struggling with this one. Now, like we said, if you're using ethereal elves or aesthetic elves or anything like that, you're probably going to have trouble. So you probably don't want to do that. Matter of fact, I'm basically deciding. See, this is basically R246's girl. I mean, I recognize her face immediately. Yeah, she doesn't have the like the concept makeup, but this is basically her. Even has some hair color, doesn't it? Interesting. This is a little slow. Do you notice that? It's a little... Okay, no, still a little slow. Alright, but anyway, this is like from the original... I think this is like from the original presets. I don't know what all he may have changed in this, or I'm kind of assuming the modder was a he. I shouldn't do that. Anyway, no, I'm not sure what all the modder changed. This is slow to move. I don't remember it being that slow. I'm not getting any ears either. Do you see that? Am I not supposed to have some ears here? I'm wondering if there is an issue that I'm unaware of. Alright, first of all, let's look at the red guard. This is really slow. Maybe I've played around with presets too much. Okay, I'm not seeing any ears here. Alright, so on the wood elves, I guess it's just on the wood elves mainly that they did the ears. Okay. Now, I'm not a big fan of these funky ears, I'll just tell you that, so don't be too offended at me. But regardless of that, I'm just trying to look at these faces, and it's because they included, you see that, I think R246 calls that a derp eye. It's a droop. Because they included her work in this, well, her, see, here I go, I'm giving, I don't know who's who. Because they included R246's eyes work in this, it's causing droopy. It's causing the droopy eye problem. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if this mod is really going to be exactly what you want. I guess you can try to fix it. Like can you fix this person's eyes? I don't know. Well, okay, there are some eyes that are not as droopy, but they're not really great, to be fair. Well, nonetheless, it doesn't matter what I like. What matters is it's your game, and what matters is what you like. So, okay, so here we go. So I'm not having any real trouble with the ears here. You'll note. Well, hold on a minute. Yes, we are. Do you see at the base of the ear there is like a gap? There's an issue there. Huh. I guess the hair could cover that up. Let's humor me for a minute. you could cover it up with the hair, but there is still going to be that problem hiding under there. Let's see, do we have a bald option for this girl? There was something that was almost, oh, it's that. That's almost bald. You can see that line? You can see where they're attaching the ear on the side of the head. It doesn't look quite right. Let's go back. Yeah, you can see the line. Yeah, you can see it on both ears. Is this what you were referring to? See, when I did a spotlight on this, I obviously did not look closely enough at the base of the ears. I apologize for that. Huh. Now, I did a reset and everything, so this is not... Oh, that's Siri's hair. Oh, that's the other Tori's hair. Alright, let's get out of that. Can we do anything about that? I don't think so. That's bad. Okay, I think... Well, they took a copy of R246 presets. Then they tried to attach these ears, and that doesn't look good. I don't know if maybe I just didn't notice that when I did my show on this a while back. But I apologize. I should have paid more attention and seen that. Are we going to have the problem here? It looks like there's a minor problem if you look there. Yeah, towards the bottom of the ear. Nothing major. Matter of fact, that could be shadowing. That could be normal. Hold on a second. That could just be artistic license there. Yeah, that's just shadowing. So that's okay. Hold on. Let's go back to the wood elf. Oh, I'm such a doofus. Let's look here. Is this an actual problem, or is this supposed to be shadowing? I think that's supposed to be shadowing. That's supposed to show that little shape of the ear and a shadow. It's not a break. I'm not saying it's the best in the world, but that's what it is. Okay. So, let's see, is there a way to change the ears at all? I don't remember there being any way to change the ears. You're just kind of stuck with what you have. I remember somebody at one point said you could change the ears with something, but that was not accurate. That might be true with certain mods on the PC, or if you have a different mod. Okay, so actually these aren't broken. It's just they're trying to create shadows, and it just looks a bit odd. And the hair looks a bit off, and I think, you'll notice this hair doesn't look right. And I think that too, again, is because they're editing that file. Okay. So we looked at the high elf for just a moment. Let's just take a moment more. So this mainly is just editing the elves. Now, why the high elves are not as affected by the eye problem as the others, I don't know why that is. I've used this preset before without those ears, of course. So I may need to go back and look at your comments. I'm going to have to go back and check your comments. So I'm going to have to switch off here. I'm not seeing a break, though. It does look like everything is okay. Well, everything is not okay. See that patch there on the side of the head? This is from editing the head. And that looks like, did they try to do aesthetic elves in this same mod? Look at that chin. Hold on, let me go back to the other elves for a moment. That chin is rounded off kind of like aesthetic elves. I didn't notice that with this girl. Oh, did they try to combine the two? Interesting idea. I wouldn't have minded that. Well, of course, without the ears. But nonetheless, I wouldn't have minded that. But I wonder if that's what they did. Did they try to combine aesthetic elves with R246's mod? That would have been nice. That would be a cool thing. I don't know if that's easily done, though. I don't know how you do it, so I'm not sure. But it looks like some of the head shape is wrong for some of these hairs. I mean, you notice that's got a severe thing there. And the rest of these it looks okay with, as near as I can tell. You do get some, like I pointed out, you get some odd splotches here or there. And that to me means something isn't quite right, especially on the dark elf. You see that splotch on the side of the head. To me, that means something isn't right. Yeah, you can lose my changes. And of the ears, I like the dark elf ears the best because they look more reasonable. They're not sticking out the side of your head like handlebars, which I shouldn't talk about that, but nonetheless. So, okay, I see what they've done, I think, more so maybe than I saw in the past. Or I realize maybe. Yeah, but see, it messes up some of these things. I mean, I'm sure this hair is not supposed to look like that. So, some of the changes, I don't know, are not for the better, I guess. Is the only way I know to say it. Sorry for... but just putting it out there. And then, of course, some of the elves' eyes are affected by the fact that you've combined R246's mod in here because they changed the way the eye... what do they call it? They changed the way the eye depth becomes eye tilt, and that changes things. So that's why some of these look so weird. But you'll notice that the presets are here. These are some of the same girls I have used before as a base for some of my other people. And then you get into the vanilla and their eyes get weird. Though not as severely here. But still, they do get a little weird. I don't think the Argonians matter. Let's look at the Imperials. Yeah. Just a couple of things here, and then they start getting weird on you. Alright, so I'm going to pause here, and I'll come back in just a minute. I'm going to look and see what the issue was. I'm not having an issue with it. I mean, it's working as it's supposed to, but does it look the best? You're going to have to choose early presets, and then on the elves, you're going to have to just look at each preset and see which one you like and doesn't have the issues. But let me just go back and look at your message and make sure that I'm looking at the right issue. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Hello. All right. So this is in. I'm trying to help a viewer here who said they were having trouble with the ears on this Cerul's head .try edits. Now if we look at this, well, maybe they're just having trouble with the whole thing. Now if we look at this mod basically took a copy of R246 female presets and then added some changes. It looks like, from what I can tell, it looks like they tried to add in some aesthetic elf changes and they changed the ears. Okay, so because of that and because of my recent testing with some of this stuff, I decided to put this in a different load order. Okay, now they look like they did okay with their elves. This appears to mainly affect elves, and it does give you the human female presets that R246 created. Sometimes I see some issues, so I'll show you those. And let me show you first where I have this in my load order and what changes I made. You specifically said you were using the Seraphim body, so I turned off my only preset here. I left my male presets on because this doesn't affect that. But I turned off my body. I was using this body. Now notice my load order here. Now let's look at just the character creation stuff, okay? Ignoring everything else, and you may have to start like this just to get things going. So I have my hair mods here. This is basically like Adorable Females, except it's this light definitive beauty pack, but it's similar in ways. I think of it as kind of an updated version. But then I have my presets, and then I do my body. So I do my presets here, and then I do my body, and then I do my eyes last, and my textures very last. Okay, so that's how I do it. This always works well for me if I keep these things in this order. You can do it lower in your load order if you want, but I do it fairly low anyway. I do it after my NPCs and followers and adding stuff to the world. So I do it pretty low, up right above my textures. Then I start getting into all the textures and patches, right. I consider everything from here down patches of some kind. I changed the underwear for the Seraphim because I don't like the weird halter thing. So, and then, due to my work with this the past few days, I decided to put this down here low. Now we can move it back up and test it there, but after testing this for the past few days and seeing the conflicts, and then I tested this a few minutes ago, and then I realized I hadn't changed my body to the Seraphim body. But just in that bit of testing, I noticed certain changes in this try edits. It looks like they're trying to combine up the aesthetic elves with the original R246 presets. Now, not the concept, but the presets. So, I think that's given them some issues. And I think that's probably going to give you some issues, but you could make it work. You're going to have to accept that there are some flaws with that, okay? So, I don't have a lot of mods on. This is just my show load order, and it doesn't, it's still got quite a few things, and some of this is unnecessary, but mostly it's not a very big load order. So your load order, I think you said you were using... Nope, that's somebody else. Forget that. That's for another thing. Okay, so let's see. So these are things I want to do shows on before Christmas because we're so close. But I don't know if I'll make it. But nonetheless, let's get out and create somebody new and look at this. Now I am using the Seraphim body, so hopefully I'll see the issue you see, or if I do not see the issue you see, I did do a reset. Then if I do not see the issue that you see, then perhaps you need to look at your load order. I'll come back to that again and show you that again. And I can try moving that edit back up to the presets area where I used to normally keep presets. At least I do keep my other presets there, but I don't know. I was just thinking that may not be the best idea. Let's let him flip over for us. This only affects females, by the way. This does not affect males. So, and the ears do not really affect the Nords. Do not affect the humans. Now this is a little slow, so bear with me. But here you've got some basic, pardon me, R246 presets. And once you reach a certain area, you're going to hit vanilla presets, and they're not going to look as good because of the eye problem, like starting there. They don't look that good anyway, but they really don't look good with the eye problem that they develop, because the R246 work converts eye depth to eye tilt. Now, I'm not sure about this hair color. Okay, so we're getting some R246 hair colors, it looks like. Or maybe this person added some hair colors at the end, perhaps. which having extra hair colors is not a bad thing. Yeah, it looks like maybe they added some extra hair colors. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. And you can, of course, use the KS hairdos like I do and do some different hairs. See? Ta-da. Anyway, but you can also do some different colors, which is nice to have the different colors. Trying to look and see. There's a darker green. So they have added some stuff here. Now that's on the human girls. Hold on. Yeah, I think your biggest problem was the elves, because that's what you wanted to play. So let's move on. Let's move down to the wood elves, for instance. This takes a moment to load. I'm not sure why, but it does. It takes a moment to load. Alright. So I'm not... Okay, I'll just tell you up front, I'm not really a big fan of the ears. But it's really not mine. It's what you like that matters. It's not what I like. So what I'm seeing here, there's a little splotch on the side of the head, and then where I think they're trying to create some shadow around the base of the ear, it looks kind of weird, but I'm pretty sure they're just trying to create like an artistic shadowing so that it makes the ear look like it belongs there. Now, if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I think it is. And the easiest way to, of course, cover that up, honestly, is just to choose a better hairstyle. But there is splotches on the side of the head. You'll notice too that I think they shortened the chin and rounded the face a little bit. And it looks like they affected the shape of the head and the way some of these vanilla hairs fit on the head. So these are whoops, those are special hairs, so you have to have certain followers to have those hairs. Anyway, this is just an issue with the mod. I don't see any way for you to get around that, so my suggestion would be to use a real hair mod, because it looks like the vanilla hairs are not exactly fitting this new head shape. But it looks like if you use something like the KS hairdos, you can still have the ears and have a different hairdo and make it work. So that would be my advice if you want to keep those ears. Now, I'm not having a problem. I want you to know, this is the seraphim body that she has, and I'm not having a problem other than what I showed you and described, just that the shadowing looks weird. Now, so maybe you have things in a bad order in your load order, but now some of this is a problem with the mod. The head is going to look kind of weird if you're using vanilla hairs. Those splotches on the side of the head, they are definitely there. You see that splotch? That's not the war paint. Here, let's get rid of the war paint and see that splotch on the side of the head. That is definitely there. Let's see, for the eyes, some of these eyes are probably affected by the fact that they combined R246's work with these mods, but if you fool around with it a little bit, I mean, this is an okay eye. I think you can find something that will work for you, but you got to be willing to sort of play around with it. Whatever you do, eye depth is now eye tilt, so do not mess with that unless you know what you're doing, because I tried that and the results were not good. Brow is still here. You can do what you want with that. I have an extra brow at the end. It's coming from one of my other mods. Don't worry about it. Actually, on elves, I think I almost prefer the no brow look. But if you do a brow, just try to do something that looks more normal. It'll help you. Let's see. So part of the issue here is the head shape, okay? Because almost positive they have changed the shape of the head to try to include something like aesthetic elves. Let's go up to the high elf. Now their ears are different, and the ear and the shadow looks a little better. However, their head shape is still different, and their hair is still going to have some issue. However, I will say that, yeah, they have the head splotch too on the side. Okay, so we can't get rid of that. Now, if I look really, really closely, I might, and I say might, be seeing just a tiniest slight discoloration between the head and the neck. So I don't know what work they've done here, and I don't know if it has some adverse effect, but it's very, very slight. Now you were having trouble with textures too, so I will show you the textures I'm using, and I didn't try different textures. You didn't tell me what textures you were using. Now there is, if you think your eyes are too black or dark, I will tell you that if you do this will basically put a black shadow above everybody's eyes if you do their makeup like that. You probably already know this, but I'm just mentioning it in case you don't, because you mentioned something about black eyelids, but I don't see that happening myself. Not saying it's not happening for you though. According to your texture, weird things can happen. Let's see, and then on the dark elf, who the dark elf always seems to suffer the most, you can really see they've shortened the chin and they've tried to round the face, but they made like the top of the cranium too big or something. It's affecting the hairdos in a weird way. And I'm not trying to give them a hard time. I'm just saying it has had an adverse effect on a few things. If you know those effects are there, though, of course, you can always deal with it. You can always use a KS hairdo to cover up some of the problems. But if you don't, then you're going to have, if you have vanilla hair, you're going to have certain hairs you can't use because they look weird. You have to find one that looks closer to normal, like something like that. That looks more normal and not as janky. This face is not a bad starting face anyway, but yeah, their ears kind of clip with the hair. There might be a little bit of a line on their head there, if you see that. It's kind of strange looking. Yeah, anyway, oh wait, I didn't mean to change that. We'll just leave that hair for the moment. Alright, so I'm not having a huge problem though. I think this is the way it's supposed to work. Now you'll notice down here, oh, I didn't get to the right thing, did I? See how those eyes are dark? And they've got this, that's their preset. They have it set all the way over. But you can lighten that up. You don't have to stay with that. You can just move these back over, and that will lighten that up. And you can also change that eye shape if you don't like that eye shape. I prefer, if you're going to do an elf, I prefer the bigger eyes, but ooh, it's hard. The dark elf, the R246 mod has an adverse effect, and it really affects the dark elf. I think it affects the dark elf the most. Not that you can't do a dark elf, but you kind of have to poke around and see what you can find. Like I said, if I do an elf, I kind of prefer the bigger eyes. Like if you do a high elf, I think they have some of the biggest eyes. Yeah, you can change that. Let's go over here to this one. Alright. Now, I may be getting caught up in something you don't. See that black? Okay, see that black above their eyes? Come down here and look. They have added this eye tint in there. Now, some of that might be war paint too. Hold on. Let's go to war paint. Where's the war paint? Yep, they do. Oh my goodness, I just went all over the place. See, if you don't want to see any of this stuff, turn all this off. just turn it off. Put it way over here. See, part of that was the war paint. She'll look much better now without that. Oh, and also, if you don't like these colors, just turn those off. I don't use any of those, except sometimes I use just a little cheek color. Let's think of it as like a little blush or rouge or whatever it is. It's not Rogue, right? Okay, so I'm probably being a pain, but I try to find like the biggest. That's pretty big. That was probably the biggest. Okay, I try to find like the biggest eye possible for the elves and go with it. Now a little makeup is fine, but just know if you drag these all the way over, you'll really darken up the area around the eye. You may or may not like that. Some people like that. But see how dark that is? If you don't like that, then just don't do it. A lot of times, I will either go all out or none. But sometimes, let's see, is there, maybe it's not that one. Hold on a second. Sometimes I will try to do this, but I'm a guy, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, you know, I just like set it somewhere where I'm like, okay, that looks okay. And then I leave it. Is that the best? Probably not. Anyway, I'm just telling you that for whatever reason, in case it's helpful. Alright, so I'm not seeing a real issue here. I'm not seeing a real issue. I'm trying, I mean, other than what I've said, I'm not seeing any other real issue. Yes, the head shape is messing up the hair. The ears are not really hurting anything, and on the high elf they actually look better. I like the dark elf too as far as the ears go. I'll show you, because the dark elf ears are more like, that's more like if you're going to do pointy ears, I want more of the Vulcan type of look. I don't want the handlebar look. I mean, it is totally a preference thing. You do what you like. So I'm not seeing the issue. Now I am using the Seraphim body. Matter of fact, let's go back to the dark elf for a minute. Let's fix her something fun here. I don't know what a good elfie hairstyle would be. Okay, let's go with that for a minute. Just bear with me for a moment. I'm going to get rid of the war paint. That's a little better. It's going to clip in her ear a little bit, isn't it? Well, we can do that. That's not too bad. Let's go with this for a minute. Just bear with me. So, that's not too bad. All right. What mouth is she using? Well, that's not an awful mouth. You know, I'm not gonna try to pick at everything. That's I do want to give her a different hair color since, oh no. Okay, only certain people get the hair colors. You know, it's always something. It's always something. Okay, well, whatever. There, we'll just go with the, like, light or, well, I'm going to stick with the dark hair. That's just me. We'll just go with it. Okay, so anyway, her brow. There, give her a reasonable brow. I think that's reasonable, as near as I can tell. Alright, so, and the eyes I'm not going to mess with unless I change the color. Do I have a color option? We'll do purple. Purple's nice. Oh, I just changed it. Sorry, wrong button, wrong stick. Alright, so, oh, and remember that jaw forward is probably going to affect nose width and not affect the jaw, so be careful of that as well, because they included, well, I'm not sure if this applies, because they said they included the presets and not the concept. You would have to excuse me, you would have to experiment with that, and I'm not going to play with that right now. Well, why not though? Okay, yeah, I should do it. Alright, let's see what we get. Yep, it's nose. It's totally a nose thing. Can you see the nose changing before your eyes? So the jaw forward, so it does include that. So I don't know how they had the nose. I think I just messed it up. Well, her profile looks okay. Her nose looks okay. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. We'll just leave it. It'll be a little on the there. That'll be fine. All right, so I really didn't have a plan for this. I'm gonna go back to what I did the other day on something else, because I can't think of anything right now. Now, you're going to get some stuff here. Don't worry about all that. Let me show you. See, she's using the Seraphim body, and I just changed the underwear with that underwear patch, but she's using the Seraphim body, so I just wanted you to see that. I didn't affect her weight or anything, so whatever it is, it's just what it is.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Let's see, let's just do the usual
Even
breeze
a modest
home.
existence is something to admire.
Now, I'm not really seeing a big issue with this, and I'm going to go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop us up to the cheat room, and we're going to just kind of save her on hold, and we're going to take a look at the mods, and I'll show you the load order. Oh, that's not what I meant at all. Oh, I didn't mean that either. I'm trying to mark these as favorites. Sorry about that. Alright. So, give me a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to check your comments again and see if there's anything else I can look at. Okay, so I was only gone a minute. I just wanted to check your comments. Now, again, this is I'm just trying to help the viewer. The viewer's name out here is Vanessa Erk, E-R-K. If I'm saying the Erk, if wrong, if that's incorrect, then I apologize. Alright, so anyway, what I was wanting to show you was that even though my armor replacer and clothing replacer is different, I am using the Seraphim body, and I'm just using a basic underwear patch here. Let me do a quick save. Matter of fact, maybe I should do one real save. We might need her again. Alright, so I want to hop out of here and show you my load order. And I do have a load order video up from November, which also shows a lot of this information. That was probably the last really good load order video I did. I may do a repeat. I don't know, I'm not sure if I have enough changes in that playthrough idea but I still may do it though. Anyway, my show load order is different. It's a very small load order, and it doesn't use a lot of different mods because I'm trying to do these shows and not have conflicting mods. So there's a difference in the videos I do as far as the show goes. So anyway, so I noticed in my original spotlight on this Cerul's head tri-edits that I had this down low in my patches anyway, which is probably the right place to have it. So let me show you how I have things, and this is going to be quick and general, okay? So In general, I have a couple of quest things. This modifies when some quests kick off. I have some weathers and sky stuff. This is a little bit of graphic stuff, which I equate with being kind of weather and sky related. It's not really. It's more graphics related, but it's minor. Then I have some game changing things. It changes the way certain things work and act in the game. And then I have some actual this is like an actual thing that is replaced in the game. And this is things that are added to the game. And then I have an armor replacer, and then I have armors added to the game. And I kind of group it all. Armors and weapons would all be in this same category because there's really no significant difference. Then I go into NPC replacers, and then I add some NPCs, and I add some followers, and then I get into my body stuff, okay? My character. So in my character stuff, I do the hairs first. I do, like, if you're going to do adorable females or this light pack, there was a full-fledged pack, but it had things and issues that I couldn't recommend it for a number of reasons, but I won't get into that. Then you have then I had my presets here. Now when you're just using presets, they're fine here, they work here. But if you're going to do something different like what you're using, or like the R246 thing, I'm going to go by what the modders say as far as keeping it low, okay? So anyway, so then I have my body replacers, which for my guys and my girls. Now I turned off my one I usually use so I could use the Seraphim one. And then I do my eyes, and you can do whatever eye mod you do, but that's it. Then I do my textures. Now, and this is my character textures, okay? And this will affect, I guess this affects all NPCs in the game. But I have my male textures, my female textures. Don't change your textures a lot, because I don't know how that's going to work for you. If you're having texture issues, these are the ones I'm most familiar with and I have used the most. I know that these work, so try these. I'm not putting down other textures. It's just I don't know, what you might be trying that is wrong. You didn't mention which textures you're using, so I don't know if you're using something that's incompatible or has other issues. So try these textures. I know these are not the smallest, but they're not the biggest either. They're reasonable. So try those. Then I get into, like, I do my world map and any other textures I would put below these, basically, usually. I think Skyland sometimes can affect this world map, so sometimes I put this world map below Skyland, but still other textures I put in this area. And then this is where I basically put things that I think of as patches or things that have to go at the bottom. And this is where I would put, as you'll notice, these types of preset changes. Partly because R246 recommends that you keep this low, and this mod is really just a copy of some of R246's work with some other stuff added in. I think they tried to combine up this and the old R246 preset, not this concept. And I think that's why they have issues. I think some of the work may not be totally compatible, and so I think what you need to do is make sure that you have this file down low. Even put it at the very bottom. Well, ignore those things. That's what I was going to do for Christmas. But even put it at the very bottom. Consider this is the bottom of my load order, basically. So consider putting it way down here. If you're having problems, you think, because of your textures, turn your textures off. Just turn them off. Don't even have them on. Now, yeah, your character is going to look considerably different without your textures. The last time I turned my textures off, my character looked like somebody had taken and beaten them with an ugly stick and just rubbed their face all over tree bark and they looked pretty rough. But it's one way to tell if the head shapes and things are coming through okay. Now in this case, I think there are some basic little issues with this mod. Partly because they're combining two other things. They're trying to combine two things together, and they're adding in elf ears. Alright? Now, as an alternative, we're going to try to find some elf ears. I remember there being a mod where you could basically have your character wear elf ears like a hat. Now you may not like this, but just bear with me for a moment. If I can find it, if I can't find it here, I will. Oh wait, this is it. Shrouds. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is basically, it adds 7 new elf ears. This is an alternative, okay? Rather than doing what you're doing, and I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, I'm just saying though if you're having that much trouble with it, this is an alternative. Shrouds elf ears. Now, let's read the words because I don't remember how to do this. Oh, male and female ears, not sexist. You know, sometimes a little sense of humor goes a long way. Alright, sorry about that. 7 new elf ears. They can be found in a chest shown in the screenshots inside the bannered mare behind the counter. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, the chest also respawns all items after a while. Well, that's nice. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. And just bear with me here. Let's take, we'll get on my girl Hope. Let's change our load order. Now this, bear with me. When I turn some of this stuff off and on, it might give us some issues, but just ride this ride with me here, okay? Let's just turn those off. Let's leave those off. I wasn't using the green girl preset anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let's give her body back. I'll just turn the seraphims. You know what? I probably we'll just go with it. It'll be fine. If we have a few lines or something weird, don't worry about it. It's just because I'm turning these off and on. But I'm just putting it back to be more like the way Hope should look. Okay, because we're going to take Hope and we're going to find her some elf ears, okay? So bear with me for a moment. I'm just trying to show you an alternative because I think probably what you're trying to go through and what you're trying to work with there isn't that great. Just saying. Or I could create somebody new and go get the elf ears. Well, we did create somebody new, didn't we? Where's she at? Elfie. Now, mind you, I just changed everything about Elfie's game. So let's see what she's going to look like now, and we'll see if she's acceptable. Well, yeah, she's okay. She's okay. Let's just take a quick look here. Yeah, I know. If you don't like that face, then you won't be in love with her. I get that. But it could be worse. What can we do here? Can we give her a little... Oh, did you see that? That nose causes those dots. Of course, I didn't do a reset, so she's still... You know what? We're going to leave her alone because I didn't do a reset. Let's just be happy that she looks as good as she does, alright? Anyway, it won't matter. We'll come and change her hair if we need to. Oh, she's a dark elf. Of course she has elf ears. Is this going to work? Let's load up Hope. Let's go back to my original idea. I think I'm being a doofus. But the thing is, you could make anybody into an elf using these elf ears. Now, we'll come back and... well, no. Let's try the elf ears on her first. Because you said you wanted to play an elf. So let's see if the elf ears will work on an elf. or if you have to be a human to wear the elf ears and get that look. But let's just see. This might be an alternative. I'm just trying to find you something that would be, you know, another solution. You may not like it, and if you don't, that's fine, but it's just a thought. I can tell you the mod you're trying to use has troubles, and I don't see that that was going to be any better. Of course, you could just try what I was showing you as far as, like,
we'll pay whatever it takes.
use the textures I use and all of that. And I'm sorry, I'm a little stuffy this morning. It's crazy, but if you try the textures I use and stuff, I think you would probably be okay. Because it sounded like part of your issue was textures.
Come on in.
Pardon me, I was having some coffee.
Take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
My sound has been breaking up a little lately. I'm not sure.
Need? How about shopping outside?
Okay, oh, it's all stealing.
Wood for the fires.
Really, it's all stealing. Well, I just took them all, so it'll be fine. Alright. But that's really dumb that it's all stealing. I mean, come on, folks. Anyway, I won't give them a hard time.
You know nothing. Nothing of our struggles.
Let's go back to the cheat room. We're just going to try some ears on her. We can always check Hope out if we want to, but let's try this girl first. Alright, so we got some elf ears. Oh, she has double ears. Okay, hold on. Still has double ears. Okay. No. I think these are meant for humans. Notice that it doesn't quite work for her. Of course, having a human looking girl that is an elf or half elf could be fun too. Yeah, I know, I'm trying to make this sound good. I just thought this would be a possibility. Well, there you go, that's long ears. So if you use that ring, that works for her. Let's go change her hair for a minute so you can see better. Hopefully see better. So see, she has the long ears with that ring. Okay, if you like the long ears. Now let's go to her hair, and let's choose something that'll get her hair out of the way. Well, there you go. You can see her ear. It's a little better. That's not too bad. You can see her ears pretty good there. So that's an option, and you'd have to try it with different characters to see what you like. For her, that one works okay. The other ears for her did not work as well, as you saw. Now, one thing about me changing her back is hopefully if you went to the vanilla hairs, yeah, now the vanilla hairs look the way they normally look. They don't look as janky. I mean, they always look a little janky, but see, she doesn't have the weird splotch on the side of her head. Now, she does have a little discoloration from these ears, okay? But it's very minor, and I don't think it's anything that you'll really notice unless you specifically look for it. Your hair is usually going to cover stuff like that up. So, anyway, you'll notice these hairs just look more correct. They don't have the horribleness. Well, and then you can always use the specialty hairs. But nonetheless, you get the idea. So that looks good. Now, mind you, the other rings did not look so good, and we saw that that looked kind of funky. And I admit it did. It did look funky. And we can go back through that, and I can show you that again. If you do the other rings, it looks like she gets a double ear. It looks kind of strange. I don't know why. But on the other hand, humor me for a moment. let's make her a human. Because right now she's a dark elf, right? Okay, let's make her a Breton. Okay, just say that. See, she's already got little ears. All right, hold on a second. We're just gonna, yeah, she's fine. She's fine, guys. That's fine. Okay, so wait, maybe we should have done a different hairstyle. I apologize. I'm a goof. Sometimes I'm a goof. No, I'm pretty much always a goof, but you get the idea. Let's go to hair. Let's give her a hair. Whoa, well, that will show her ears. That shows her ears probably more than I wanted, but okay, hey, this works. You can see her ears very well, right? So I think these elf ears were intended more for the human characters. Not that you can't use them for the elves. We did find one that we could use for the dark elf. But, here, let's step her up a little closer. Alright. Well, you know what? Let's get her a little closer. There we go. So let's have her try on the different ears. So, ear 1 is kind of a short, spockish, pointy ear. See that? Alright, so ear 2, is that just a little longer? Possibly just a little longer. Ear 3. Okay, I don't know who ear 3 is intended for. Don't use it on a Breton. That looks horrible. Alright. Ear 4. That's interesting. It's a little more flared out. So you might prefer that in some cases. Ear 5. We tried ear 5 and that looks basically the same. Ear 6. Ear 6 is a little more flared out if you like that. Away from the head a little bit more. So she's definitely more. And then 7 is the longer one. The longer ears. And definitely stands out. So you might prefer 7. It appears that 7 works for the elves and for the human. Now, that's Breton though. Let's try. Oh my goodness, I cannot control myself. Here we go. So that was the Breton. Come on, girls. Alright, there we go. Oh, I didn't do a race thing. I'm such a doofus. I apologize for that. Here again. Alright, now, first of all, don't try this on Argonians. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. So we did the Dark Elf. So let's try the High Elf and see which of these ears will work. Now, this ear will not work for her. Do you see that? Because you can see a double ear and it doesn't look right. So don't try this one with her. Oh, just stay with me. Stay with me. Alright, so. Alright, see that just looks janky. So she needs a different ear. So we're going to try a different ear. We'll see if any of these ears work with her. If you really want to play an elf and you want something different ear-wise. Of course, these are not going to give you the handlebar ears. Which if you're looking for the handlebar ears, yeah, you might be out of luck, I guess. Which I'm sorry about that, but I can't control that. This doesn't look any better than the other one. Still looks kind of... For the High Elf, that does not look good. Number 3 doesn't look right on anybody. Is that supposed to be an orc ear or something? I have no idea. Number 4 does not look exactly right either. I see a little bit of a double ear. I would not like that. Unless you want to play like they're a mutant. That's 5. That has the same issue. 6. Okay, so for the High Elf, none of these ears work. I'll just be honest. For my purposes, none of these work. Alright. We'll just admit it and go on. Alright, so what's another... Whoops, don't do that. What's another option? However, it will work on like... I bet they'll work fine on the Imperial. Probably most of them. actually, her hair is already fixed. Let's just go with her because we can plainly see her ears. Alright, now notice this is an Imperial, okay? So bear with me. This is an Imperial girl, but now she's wearing the big ears, and they work pretty good on her. Now notice I didn't change anything else about her. So she appears to be able to wear 7 and 6. And 5 looks good. Hey, does 4 actually look okay on her? 4 actually looks okay on her. Strange. Oh, 3 does not. 3 is definitely wrong. Pardon me just a moment. I feel like I'm going to cough. So sorry about that. Okay. So definitely not 3. 3 is awful. 2 is okay. And 1 is okay. Okay, so these ears will work. These are not, however, the handlebar ears that you were looking at in the other mod. But I think the other mod... Why did her stuff go away? That's funny that her, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I think the handlebar ears are just not going to make it. I don't think they're going to last. Actually, we can see her ears just like that. We should leave her alone. Yeah, I don't really care much what she looks like as long as we can see the ears and see how they work for this race. So it looks like that most of these ears are probably going to work. Number 3 has been a questionable ear. It's not going to work for anybody. That's just horrible. You can see it right there. There's no point going any further. 4 is good. 5 is new. If you were really wanting those tri-edits, that's another issue altogether. But this would work, and you could use number 7. It looks like number 7 works almost everybody but the High Elf. The High Elf, nothing worked on the High Elf, because they already have pretty big ears. I don't think the orc matters. You can let me know if you really want the orc. I don't usually do an orc. Well, you can use number 7 on the orcs, though. Now notice there still is just a little bit of discoloration there where the ears are worn. But I think the hair and stuff's going to cover that up anyway. I don't think that's going to be a significant problem. Let's look at the red guard. Let's see, do I like... She's good. I think she shows the ears better, so let's go with her. Yeah, she may not be the best looking, but she's not bad. And you can see her ears, which is always good when you're testing ears. Alright. So, we can easily see her ears there. The 7s work. 6 works. I'm not surprised, actually. 5 works. That's a little more in on the skull, and you know, depends on what you're after. I just thought I would show you this as an alternative. I should probably stop doing this because I'm probably overdoing what you want to see, and this is probably... Don't use number 3 on anybody. I can't find anybody that number 3 works for. If you find somebody, you can always let me know. But this gives you an option to give people elvenish ears. And you can, it looks like number 7 works on most everybody but the High Elf. Let's try the Wood Elf really quickly. And like I said, I was just bringing this up as an alternative. I was hoping it would be helpful to you. She actually looks good with those ears and stuff, don't she? Anyway, beside the point, right? Okay, so these ears don't work for her, but that's okay. We will, you know what, we're just going to take a quick look. We'll see what ears work for her, because number 1 does not work for her. You can see she has double ears, which is not good. We don't want double ears. Number 2 does not work. Double ears. 3, no. 3 doesn't work for anybody. 4 is, no, 4 has double ears. We're not doing double ears. No double ears allowed. 5, no. That's freaky. Too weird. 6, no. Too strange. Okay, so 7 works for everybody but the high elf. It does work for the wood elf. So if you wanted, you could try something like this as an alternative. Because from what I'm seeing, the edits, the Cerul's try edits isn't really working that well. It's got too many issues. However, if you really want to try to make it work, let's just get out of this. I'm going to recap. If you really want to try to make it work, which you can. I mean, I was messing with it earlier, and you saw that we could make it work. Was it the best choice? Maybe not. But I would suggest that if you are going to go with it, to make it, R246 is updated. Okay, I will come back to that in a few minutes. If you're really intent on trying to make that work, then make sure in your load order, close to the bottom, but not necessarily at the very bottom, that you have a character portion of your load order. And in that portion, start with like your hair mods. If you do anything like this, do that next. It's called, like, if you use adorable females or this, it's mods that try to smooth out, you know, eyes and keeps the face from being blocky, and it tries to give you some little things, you know. This tries to give you some different textures and things. Well, if you're going to use Cerul's try edits, don't use any female presets. Just turn them off or delete them. Don't use them. If you want to use the seraphim body, that's fine. Put it here below your presets. And then do your eyes, whatever eyes you're using. I use these. It's small and it's good enough for me. Sometimes I would prefer something a little more, but these are nice. Then do your skin textures, and if you're really having skin textures, try these. Once you have these in your load order, make sure you do a good reset, and that means, like, hold the power button on your Xbox until it cycles. It usually takes about 10 seconds. You hold the power button pushed in, and then it will cycle, and it clears its cache and then reload it. You could also try just resetting your Xbox, like exiting Skyrim and resetting, but sometimes that doesn't clear the cache. Most of the times I find that works for most things, but sometimes you do need to make sure everything's cleared out. So in this case, changing textures, make sure everything's cleared out as best you can. Okay. Let's see. So after the textures, that's it for your character creation stuff, except for the mod itself. If you're going to use this mod, matter of fact, any of these mods, if you're going to use any of these, but only use one, don't use any of these together. They're not going to work together. You pick one and go with it. Put it down in your patches. Put it down in your patches, and or even at the very bottom if you want. And leave it. And like I said, at that point, once you get everything situated, get out, shut Skyrim down, at least reset your Xbox. I think you should probably do the hard reset where you hold the power button in for 10 seconds, but at least reset your Xbox and come back in. don't change your textures a lot. If you change your textures a lot, you're going to create problems. So at that point, once you do come back into Skyrim, create a new character and play around with the character creation and see if you can get them the way you want using the hair mods and stuff you want. I find the KS Hairdos Lite, while this is no hairdo mod is perfect because they take up a lot of space, but as near as I can tell, this is the best compromise between space and getting 20 hairdos for girls and 20 hairdos for guys. Do I love all the hairdos? Maybe not, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that is my advice. That's probably about all I can say about this. I looked on my Facebook page. I didn't see that you had put anything out there. So I hope this is helpful. And if anyone else is having trouble with this, I hope this is helpful. In looking at this mod closer and seeing what it really does now that I've played around with things more, unless you just really want those ears, okay, there's other options. If you really want those ears, then fine. But for me, you could get Shroud's ears and put them on anybody. Put them on humans or whatever, and you can try it out until you find one that you like. Of course, you're not going to get the handlebar ears. I know. You're not going to get those that stick straight out at a, what is that, a 90-degree angle? But, I'm just trying to give you some sort of alternative. So, alright. I think that's all I can do for this. So, I hope that is helpful. And thanks for everybody. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will catch you later.